there's the perception that, you need good linebacker. Vic needs good linebackers. I don't know that is exactly true, but certainly you need better linebackers than the Eagles have at the moment. What do you think this is going to do into the Eagles' planning process as they enter the offseason?
Yeah, it's a fair question because we mentioned those 49ers defenses, right? When you have Patrick Willis and Navarro Bowman in the middle, it looks different than hoping that Kobe Dean in year 3 is a Pro Bowl caliber player, right?
I went to look last night at, thinking, okay, who might they be able to sign in free agency this year? So you go to over the cap, you go to linebackers, and you sort by the snap percentage to see who's going to be available. And I think maybe the best picture of an indictment of the Eagles season, coming off of Howie Roseman yesterday, talking about how, you might say that we don't care about linebackers, but we love Nakobe Dean. And if you watch the tape, Zach Cunningham really played well. You sort by snaps played, available linebackers right now. The guy who's 9th or 10th on that list, Nicholas Morrow. Okay? And so, that's the guy you're putting out there. Don't tell me that you're expecting good linebacker play.
Sure. Now, Isaiah Simmons is a free agent. Just want to put that out there. I thought you'd sell that one a little bit more.
Yeah, I mean, do they need a backup safety?
Touche. I will own that one. So the linebacker thing is real. And a quick thing, you asked a good question. We talked about this on the show yesterday, and Howie Roseman said that there's this misconception that they don't value linebackers. And I would kind of push back that it's not a misconception. It is true. I take Howie at his word. He wants good linebackers, and they've had decent linebacker play and the good linebacker play both times they went to the Super Bowl. But Howie has said it in the past that, if they're going to say they value the line of scrimmage, you can't just say it. Your actions have to support it. So every year in draft time, what do? They invest in offensive, defensive linemen. And if you look at their cap resource, where they spent offensive and defensive linemen, right? Well, the inverse is true. Or the opposite's true at linebacker. The last time they drafted an off-ball linebacker in the first 2 rounds of the draft, first 2 rounds of your premium picks, was Michael Kendricks in 2012. The last time that they spent any degree of decent money on a linebacker was Nigel Bradham's contract extension, and even that had an out in it. They're getting what they're paying
it's
for.
not like they are trying to bring in bad linebackers.
Yeah, exactly.
They're just not willing to invest in the position. They care about it the least of all the position groups. And I don't even think that is wrong necessarily. You have to make trade-offs when you are building a roster. I think that that's fine, but there is a vast middle ground between, using the 16th pick on Jack Campbell or whoever versus waiting until August to bring in Zach Cunningham and Myles Jack and hoping that one of them is going to be passable. The Kaiser White contract is a reasonable thing to do. They paid $3 million for the guy because he was available the second week of free agency, and they got a solid year of play from him, and they went to the Super Bowl. Yeah, obviously that's not 1-to-1, but there is a middle ground there.
Howie has said there's some positions where you need to trust your scouting and your development. They did a good job developing T.J. Edwards. They did a good job scouting Kaiser White. They did a good job developing Jordan Hicks. They did a good job scouting Nigel Bradham, right? And in both those cases, they went to the Super Bowl, although Jordan Hicks was injured during the Super Bowl season. But
I think they have. I would think that Howie feels that at times they have been let down by player development at that position.
Yep.
Davion Taylor is an extreme example of that, but they also haven't taken a ton, recently, they haven't taken a ton of late round shots there.
Sure.
Sean Bradley is the last guy they drafted. That was in the 7th round 3 or 4 years ago, right? So,
and even their undrafted money hasn't prioritizing that.
Right, exactly. And that is the surprising thing to me. There is no reason that they couldn't have paid a better. They actually paid Ben Van Summer a lot of money last year, but
he wasn't their top.
Right, exactly. That they didn't take a few more shots there.
We all silly like the mayor.